right. Okay, shh, we are recording. All right, we are looking right here. I have notes on midpoint and distance. So just briefly, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. I trust that you can read. The midpoint is you add the x's together, divide by 2. Add the y's together, divide by 2. Here's an example. -1 plus -3 divided by 2 is -2. 5 plus 11 divided by 2 is 8. A lot of people get weirded out by the midpoint because it gives you a point. Don't put those numbers together. They should be separate. It's a point. So like if we have a line, this is the middle. So I need like a location. Like I go to the left 2, up 8. Okay? Questions about midpoint? We'll do another example if we need to. Distance. Okay? Distance is I'm trying to find the length. You can do this multiple ways. I like the visual way because then it's just Pythagorean theorem. Okay? If I've got a point at -311 and -1,5, I count down. See this length right here? That's 6. I could have counted the little marks, or I could take 11 minus 5 gives me 6. Okay? This horizontal part, I'm taking the horizontal distance between D and C. Shh. Horizontal distance between D and C. Okay, I can do this by going -3 minus a -1 gives me -2, or I can just count. Okay? So those are the distances, and then we're just going to do Pythagorean theorem, right? This length is now 6. This is -2. So I go 6 squared plus -2 squared equals D to C squared. Right? 6 times 6 is 36. -2 times -2 is 4. 36 plus 4 is 40 equals DC squared. And I take the square root of it. That gives me 2 square root 10, or 6.32. Okay? Or you can literally just use this formula down here. The square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Okay? All under the square root sign. Some people like this better because you can just literally put it in your calculator all at once, which is very nice. Okay, I think we should try one of each of these on your homework, and then you have the rest for homework. Okay? So we're going to look at midpoint first. Okay? I have a graph for each of these. You don't have to use the graph. You can just use the formula, or you can just use the graph. You just have to come up with a right answer. You can do it either way. So if I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 3, and I can go over 7, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? I can now do this. I'm going to show you the graphic way that I don't think I talked about. How do I plot points?
No, I'm just saying how do you go over 7?
So I went over 7, up 2. I was already at 5, so I just counted over 2 more. But yeah. Okay. So the distance between -3 and 5 is 8. Okay? And the distance between 5 and 7 is 2. Okay? So if we want the midpoint, what's half of 8? 4. So if I go to this bottom point and I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to be here. And if I count over 2, half of 2 is 1, so I'm going to be here. So that's my midpoint right there, which is 6, 1. So that's the graphic way. Now I'm going to do it the algebraic way, which I like better for midpoint for sure. So half of 8 is 4, so I counted up 4. Half of 2 is 1, so I just went over 1. This is my point right here, which is, if I count from the origin, over 6, up 1. Okay, Now I'm going to do it the algebraic way, where this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm just going to go 5 plus 7 divided by 2. And negative 3 plus 5 divided by 2. Right. So I'm doing it two different ways, right? Algebraically and graphically. 5 plus 7 is 12. Please stop talking. I'm going to wait, but you're wasting your own time. 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Please stop talking. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. See how I got the same answer? This is graphically. You don't have to do, if that way didn't make sense to you, don't do it. This is algebraically. This is the formula that I gave you on your paper. x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. That's it. We're going to do distance formula, so I'm going to do number 1 on the distance formula now. Okay? First, I'm going to do it graphically. I'm going to go at 0, 0 and go over 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go back to 0, 0 and go over negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1, 2. Okay? So, this is what I want to find the distance of, that segment. So I know I'm going to go up from negative 5, from negative 2 up to 6, so that's 8. And I'm going to go from negative 5 to 4 is 9. Okay, so now I can just use Pythagorean theorem. 8 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. And then I can simply put that in my calculator. Like, we don't need to worry about x squared. Yeah. Ooh. There you go. 8 squared plus 9 squared gives me 145 equals x squared. And I take the square root of 145, and I get 12.04. Okay, do I have questions about this? Which part? Yes, Braylon. The middle of the line. Of the segment you drew, yeah. Midpoint of the segment, really. Questions about distance formula? Yes? No, you could have drawn it the other way, you got in the same answer. Yes? Yeah. One is the distance formula, the length of the line. The other is the midpoint. Where's the middle of the line? So midpoint is finding the middle of that segment, the exact middle. Distance is finding the length, like if I was going to measure it. Yes? Yeah. No, because there's only 4, so I can't do one more than midpoint. Before we move on, I am going to, I'm going to do completely the algebraic way. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. If you hate graphing, this is the way to go. You're just going to go square root 4 minus a negative 5 squared plus 6 minus a negative 2 squared. You put that in your calculator exactly, and you're going to get 12.04. Okay? Just make sure you have the parentheses in the right place. I might, before I put this in my calculator, change my negatives to positives, because it's going to be easier. Just make sure you have parentheses. I always do this. Excuse me. I always do this when I do parentheses. I also put parentheses around the whole thing to make sure everything stays under the square root sign. Okay? To make sure everything stays under the square root sign. Okay? All right. I'm giving you the rest of the hour to practice this. Michaela, I am going to come over and help you with a midpoint problem. I just don't want to record it and put it on the board because you only have 3 more midpoints to do. Okay? All right. That's it.